Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about how I grew a waitlist up to 30 folks without launching and without paying for ads. So no paid ads, just one channel, and I was able to get about 30 folks on my waitlist. So how did I do that? Now, first thing, what was the channel? For me, it was Reddit, right? And hold on, you'll understand why I'm saying it was just the channel for me. Reddit does have a lot of these subreddits, as you call them, where you have a typical topic and there's just guys who are interested in that topic who hang out there, right? Now, in my case, I'm trying to cater to early SaaS founders, a lot of product managers, and they do tend to hang out on a lot of other places. An obvious one would be LinkedIn, and an obvious one would be X, Twitter, right? Now, I do post very frequently on LinkedIn as well, but when it comes to promotion and getting a waitlist, I relied on Reddit, right? One, I get to be anonymous, so I didn't want to post it on LinkedIn before we even launched because there tends to be a delay, and I don't want anyone coming from LinkedIn to wait. And that was my first reason. Second, my ICP hangs out on Reddit quite a bit. Now, this is very important. So, there's a friend of mine who's working on a conference management platform, which is going to be catering to professors of universities, mainly in the United States. And I would never suggest him to go to Reddit, right? I mean, go to Reddit for research and everything like that, but don't expect a lot of signups from Reddit. For him, probably the best channel is going to be Facebook groups, Facebook, right? That's where you would, I'm not sure if you agree, but that's where you can expect to find a lot of these professors, even through ads. But again, we don't want to be focusing too much on ads in the beginning, especially before the launch, right? If you're trying to validate a little bit, maybe you can, but I built in a space where there's already competition, which kind of validates the market for me already, right? Now, we can do another video on how to validate. It's an in-depth process, regardless of you have competition or not, but I'm not going to get into that right now, right? So the most important part of all of this is my ICP does hang out on Reddit, a ton of it, which is SaaS, the subreddit SaaS, the subreddit micro SaaS, the subreddit product management, the subreddit Y Combinator, the subreddit, there's a couple of those out there, right? Side projects, indie hackers, indie developers, and some local subs where I do get a chance to promote a little bit, but I don't do it directly, which brings me to my next point. How do you do it? Regardless of it's Facebook, it's LinkedIn groups, it's Reddit, it's X. On X, you can a little bit, like you can promote it very directly, very harshly, but it's still not recommended, and I'll tell you why that is, right? Now, initially when I just started, I was going a little harsh and I was going a little direct. I would just place my link here and there, and I would not get a ton of engagement, so to say, right? I did not. And that's kind of obvious now, like just 25 days later. But in the beginning, I was slightly confused at why nobody wants to help. And I know this is very common knowledge. There's like tons of videos out there on this topic, but you will not believe how many folks just like the messaging is just horrible. The way they kind of ask for help it just sounds like you have a sense of entitlement. I will share maybe a couple of examples. I don't want to shame anyone, but the way people come and are like, hey, I developed a tool which shortens your links. Help me, sign up, be my beta user. That's just never going to work, right? And it's just astonishing, even though there's like tons of videos about social selling, about storytelling and all that, still people do it. And like 95% people on there do it, expecting a lot of results. That's just never going to work for you. What tends to work is a story, right? I know the word storytelling is kind of hyped up too much a little bit, but it does work. So how it worked for me was whenever I would get a chance to actually promote, and these would be things like, if you go on Reddit into these startup groups communities, there's typically, not all groups, but typically there's like a weekly promotion, roast my landing page, roast my website. Someone from the community would just randomly say, hey, drop your SaaS link in the description, in the comments. And in those cases, a lot of you, what you tend to do is actually just drop your website, and that's not what's going to work. What I tend to do, and what has given me results, like after experimenting quite a bit, is one, I would give some context as to why am I building this in the first place. Sorry about the background noise. So yeah, I would give them some context as to why am I building it in the first place. So my story usually tends to go like, I have worked in 4 startups. I have worked in multiple roles. I've been in sales. I've been a product manager. I've been a customer success manager. Mostly I've been in sales, and this is the problem that I saw firsthand in all of these startups, right? That's my backstory. There's some level of truth to it. There's not a lot, to be honest. Like I saw the opportunity. I saw one of these tools being sold, and but it's true to some extent, and I just mentioned that, right? So someone who comes across a bunch of links after links after links, and then you have some context, you're going to be slightly hooked in more than the others, right? Now, after that, I give a very brief, very, very short description of just one sentence about what that tool is. You don't want to write too long of a message. Again, the story is more important than promoting yourself. And then I give the links to my website where they can check out. We still have huge drop-off rates, like I have to improve upon that, but that's what has been working for me. So out of, let's say, about 300 users, we've got about 10% of them signing up for the waitlist, which is not too good, but at least we got that much, because a ton of you guys are not able to get any traction even after you launch, right? This is why I'm making this video in the first place. So please focus on the story. You don't have to be someone who's experienced with that problem. You don't have to be someone who scratching their own itch, but there has to be some context to why you build that. Now, your post doesn't have to start with it. I know it sounds obvious, but I do have to mention it because so many of you keep doing that shit. So start with a very flowing story rather than just being like, hey, I was sick of running paid ads, so I built this paid manager, or whatever it is, right? That's not going to work again. You have to give some backstory, some context. And that's typically what works more than just direct promotion, right? I'll give you some more information on messaging. And this is for outbound, right? So when you're trying to do cold outreach to get your initial customers, have some, because I did that a little bit, not a lot, because I was focusing on getting my karma, like LinkedIn, Reddit has Reddit karma, right? So I don't want to be banned on any of these subs, obviously. So that's why I didn't do any shady shit, so to say. But in cases where I did find that someone is clearly asking for something which is similar to my tool, in those cases, I did message them. And my message, again, what worked for me is just highlighting the problem statement, right? Instead of just going into the message and talking about yourself, being like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I've been in the industry for so long, and I do this, make it about them, not yourself, make it about them. So it can be something like, hey, I talk to a lot of product managers. This is typically what they're facing. Does that ring a bell with you? Do you find that relevant, right? Is that something that you face as well? So highlight the problem. 90% of the early founders that I talk to, they don't know how to set up payments or something like that, right? It can be, again, this sounds obvious, but I will show you my inbox, and the amount of messages that sound like they're self-obsessed is just crazy, right? We at XYZ believe in the future of revolutionizing the healthcare space till eternity. That's just never gonna work, bro. You have to make it about them, right? Yeah, once you're done, keep a mix of these until you launch. If you haven't, if you have launched, this will work as well. It will work actually better because people don't want to wait. People want to have access to things immediately and they tend to forget. I know I'm talking about the wait list. I don't expect all of them to sign up. That's just how things work. But at least I was able to get this much, right? I hope this helps. Let me know if you want me to expand on any of these points. And let me know if you want me to probably create a video on how to validate your idea, right? That's a question that I see again on Reddit, on X. A lot of you ask about that. So if you want to see a detailed video on how to validate your idea, I can make one on that. And I've been doing this for a while now, so I can help. Just let me know. Ciao.